And the factors having confidence that even without the support what's your reaction to that?
Okay, thank you very much for having me. And we have to understand that Tinubu has come out to break the wings of the political oligarchs, which are largely. We must understand that in the few days ago, the Northerners have been plotting, cooking all manners of, set up just to ensure that Tinubu does not win completely. Before I go, all of us understand Tinubu is a representation of the South, whether we like it or not. The northern oligarchs are meeting led by Eruba and Atiku. They are doing everything possible to ensure that the South becomes politically irrelevant. Okay? They are doing everything to ensure that, or to prove to us that without the North, no Southerner can become president. So they are plotting to break that friendly agreement, that gentleman agreement that we've had, that for every northern 8 years, we are going to have a subsequent 8 years of the South. You can see that they are pushing Atiku forward. They are going to see Buhari. We cannot see Buhari speaking against Tinubu, saying that Tinubu is not really a people-centric government. We are seeing all manners of campaigns against Tinubu, that Tinubu is too what? Is too Yoruba-centric. Don't forget that it was Buhari that started this effort. When Buhari came on board, it was the Yorubas did not complain. Buhari appointed his Fulani brothers everywhere. The ones that were incompetent, the ones that were competent, everywhere was filled up. Right? We were quiet. But we can see that those that are supposed to be complaining under the regime, who are even absorbing it and just playing around. Because an appointment list was released. In order that when the North as a whole have about 75 appointments, the South is hard, but yet the North are saying that they must regain the power because they are the Fulani oligarchs that decide the prosperity, the political game or dynamics of the Nigerian government.
But maybe we get the picture what the North is saying, that they are not interested in presidency 2027, but they want a Southerner, but not Tinubu. And this arrangement seems to have split Shetima and Tinubu into a deep, suspicion and reservation. That is one of the reasons why Shetima have to go to Daura and lead Buhari back to Kaduna for politicking. Everybody knows. At this point, do you think that this thing is just about P2B, or Tinubu is going to use Nnamdi Kanu, to target his re-election at the end of the day?
Let me tell you, we must be students of history. When the Northerners deceived Nnamdi Azikwe that he will become the president, we know what they turned into. They turned into a figurehead. A Peter Obi collecting this Trojan horse gift, which I know it's a lie, by the way, because they still have an article. But whatever they present to Peter Obi is a Trojan horse. They just want to make him a figurehead. I do not see an aerophile or an article putting their political values behind Peter Obi. What we must understand is the North are very self-centered, and they just want to let us see that without them, there can never be a Southern presidency. Tinubu is a man who has become one of their greatest threats. And one of the steps that Tinubu has taken is he has infiltrated the Northern Middle Belt. He wants to dismantle the North right from the Middle Belt. This is why you see that the Fulanis now are deploying more attacks in the Middle Belt. You can see that in the past 2 months, we have had several attacks in Benue. In Benue, they went for an attack for over 48 hours. Then also in Plateau, some days ago, attack in Bokos. Again, why? So that the Middle Belt will not support Tinubu. Because the Middle Belt have gotten so much appointment that they've never gotten. They have gotten so much consideration. When you're talking about the Middle Belt, I talk about the Benue, I talk about the Kogi, I talk about Plateau. As it stands today, the Southern Kaduna, according to the map, belongs to the Middle Belt. Because the Southern Kaduna do not see themselves as North. I have seen where the Fulani people have come out to say that Ojulari, who is the new NNPC chairman, is not a Northerner.
Mm.
They say that he's a Yoruba man.
Mm.
That no, but when we ask, where is this man from? People said he's from Kogi. Then all of a sudden they say he's not a Northerner. So you can see the agenda is clear. Tinubu is doing everything to crush them. Ali Undume is coming out to run so much propaganda. Say that Tinubu's lopsided appointment, the North will remember that this will lead to civil war. That this was the thing that led to civil war. That the North cannot in any way or any time be marginalized. That they are not the Igbos that will be quiet. That they will respond. And that they will react. That in fact, this might be the end of the Yoruba presidency in the Nigerian state. You can see those threats. Those threats are signals that their structures are being shaken. That the grip that they have on the Middle Belt. Let me tell you, what makes North or the Fulanese, what makes them relevant is because of the Middle Belt. The Middle Belt line that consists about 5 or 6 states, that place is very highly polarized. But somehow the Fulanese have been able to use religion and then maybe language to control their political decisions. But Tinubu has seen this. He has said that Benue will, let me tell you, Benue will go for Tinubu. I have seen where Middle Belters are already telling Obi, that's why I told you that Obi will only be a figurehead. I have seen where Middle Belters, Igbos are not against Obi, maybe vying for that position with an El-Rufai. Some Igbos are not against it. But the Middle Belters have said that an El-Rufai, if you go into any election competition with Peter Obi, they will rather cast their vote for Tinubu. Because as far as they are concerned, Christopher Musa has been doing everything to restore peace. Barikin Ladi in Kaduna State, that used to be one of the most, terrorized local governments, the citizens, the indigents are now returning back to farms. And Christopher Musa came on board. He said that the Fulani Elders clashes story is a facade. That the Fulani Elders simply want to take over people's land. And then we saw attacks coming from all the Fulani political elites. They said CDS Musa wants to push for anarchy. How can the military, a top military officer be saying that the Fulani clashes is just a facade, that is the Fulani that now lie?
But it will be very difficult, from all calculations, because it's comfortably they don't want Tinubu again. Now that's what the Northerners, the future they are.
Because it's a threat to them.
Yeah, it has not even done well in terms of delivering dividends. That is okay, but that's politics for Nigeria. As it stands now, Nnamdi Kanu's position in 2027, how would you look at it between the North and the South?
What we must understand now is that Nnamdi Kanu is no longer an economic threat to the Yorubas as it stands. The same people who are scared of Nnamdi Kanu are still Fulanese. And this is why they are so hell-bent, telling Tinubu that will be a decision that will break your camel back if you ever release Nnamdi Kanu. But we have seen the recent submission from Nnamdi Kanu when he said that I am confident that I will be out very soon. Definitely, he has gotten some nudge. And also, just 2 days ago, about 17 IPOB that has been incarcerated by Buhari were released. I saw it. Ejimako was there. Hello, Ejimako. Those children, young children, whom Buhari called terrorists. I saw those brilliant boys. And then immediately I went to do compare and contrast. I said, look at these ones. Are these the people that were called terrorists? And then I brought the Fulani bandits. I mean, the difference was clear. We could say that this is who the true terrorists are. The boys of the IPOB who were simply fighting for an ideology of a good country, of a working system. Those are the demands. Because these demands do not align with the Fulani's agitations. They brought up what we call the Fulani bandits. I used to tell people, I said the Fulani bandits rose up because we had the militants. Immediately the militants rose up. We had the IPOBs. And when Yaradua compensated them, they felt that no, that they also must rise up, and then they had those rebellious groups. You will recall that it was within that axis that Yaradua sorted them within a period of 2009, 2010, that they sorted them. Within a space of 1 year, 2 years, we started having their headers. And as at then, we know what the Sultan called them. We know what Sheikh Gumi called them. He said that they are not terrorists, that they are freedom fighters. And this is why I've always said that the North will do everything to conspire against you when you threaten their interest. Tinubu is a threat to their interest. Like I said, Tinubu has not done well economically. But there's one thing that Tinubu is doing, which is restructuring the northern hegemony. Let the middle belts be free.
Okay, let's move a little bit away from there. It looks like coast might be likely be clear for Tinubu, considering the fact that
Apparently.
the Hausas are rising against the Fulani
No, you've
in
heard, you've seen that.
in the north, and but it's very difficult. We have out of the 19 states in the north, there's no Hausa man that is a governor. All of them are Fulanis.
Unfortunately.
You understand? Then how do we figure this out at this point in time?
Well, I think the cock has actually come up to roost, because now we have seen that the Fulanis are finally, I mean, the Hausas are finally finding their voice. And also, you must see that the Middle Belt have never been this vocal since 1960. I can categorically tell you that the Southern Kadunas, the Middle Belt, the Kogi, the Benues, the Plateaus have never found their voice as they have under this Tinubu's administration. Nigeria is a very tribal country, and Nigeria cannot be subjected to the command and to the interest of the Fulanis. All tribes must be protected. The reason why we went from regional into a unitary system is because of the Fulanis. The reason why we have not returned back to the regional system, whereby we can manage our resources, is of course because of the northern oligarchs. Like you said, the oligarchs are the governors. And who are the governors? Are they the Hausas? No. You said 19 states of the north are all Fulanis. Is this by a coincidence? Is this by coincidence? Of course, it is not. It is by a what? A concentrated intention that we will never lose the political power to a non-Fulani man. You can see what they do. Now, what they now do is they are now in the south, they are now having what we call political incursion by installing Fulani stooges.
As governors.
Akpakomiza, Uzodima,
I'm telling you,
Uwanfuru's village got attacked. 1 week later, Uwanfuru donated 750 million for people to go to Hajj. Just ask yourself.
Okay, another school of thought from some of the Northerners and the way they are looking at it, they said very clearly that Tinubu might likely break the country if the North move heavily against him.
I think the joker here, or the catalyst here,
Is Nnamdi Kanu and Igbo?
Let me tell you,
yes,
those are the two crackers that Tinubu has. Those things are the rocket launcher or the trigger. And if they try to move mad, we all know how fierceful Nnamdi Kanu is. And we all know how Sunday Igboho launched a counter-terrorism on the Fulanese, whereby he took Buhari to launch about 150 DSS storming a Sunday Igbo house, and it was not caught. It was never caught. The North understands this, and now they are trying to work on eggshell. But even at that,
from that angle, it's
hold on.
like they're targeting Obi.
Wait,
Yes.
wait.
Okay,
Even at that, why they are trying to work on eggshell? Even at that, Tinubu understands perfectly that they can be nice to you at day, but at night they are very evil. And this is why he has the middle belt. He brought an agenda. He said that we are going to have a middle belt developmental commission. That was the first thing they threw. They did not start crying, why would you? The North never want you to call those people middle belt. They don't want you to call them middle belt. They said that you are separating them. That North must be attached. Right? That North, they should be called North Central. Then Tinubu brought in what we call the Federal University of Southern Kaduna, so that they can reduce the influence of the Fulani in Abuja area above the Southern Kadunas, who are largely Christians. What we know is this: Tinubu breaking up Nigeria is an option that I think it will gladly take if the northern oligarchs try to move mad. Thank you.
Okay, based on that, yes, that point you just raised now,
Yeah.
and having understand if actually that was the concept of the Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is already in France now, don't you think that they might collapse their structures for another southern president? And people are talking that they are already eyeing Mr. Peter Obi.
Like I said earlier, I said Peter Obi accepting whatever support from the Northerners it is just a Trojan horse. It's a poison fed to him because he will be rendered useless. Tinubu actually was not appointed by the Fulani.
But Tinubu's government has failed too.
Wait, hold on.
Are you saying that
Hold on. Tinubu was not appointed by the Fulanis. Tinubu literally bought his way into that place.
Okay, he bought his way.
Is Peter Obi ready to buy his way?
Okay.
Okay, you think a Babangida, a Sultan, an El-Rufai, and Atiku will support him, and Tinubu and Obi will get there, and he wants to do the interests of the South? If there's anything the South agree upon, and that is, let us split Nigeria. I don't think you would ever ask any Southerner. Let me start from the Middle Belt down to Bonny Camp in River State. If you ask anyone that shall we split Nigeria, they will say yes.
Okay, let me ask you this last question. Look at the most powerful electoral flashpoint states, or so swing states in Nigeria: Kanu, Lagos, of course, Port Harcourt. Let me put it that way. Benue and the rest of them can come later and thereabout. But as it stands now, Tinubu seem to have no solid grip in Kanu. Lagos, you saw what happened last in River State. How would you, rant up this in just in 1 minute?
You shouldn't be political naive.
Okay.
Because you must understand that, yes, while we might contest that Tinubu does not have that grip on Kanu, but Tinubu certainly has that grip in Lagos State. By restoring Obasa back as the Speaker of Lagos State, simply tell you how influential and how determined Tinubu will be when it comes to Lagos politics. And look at what is going on in River State today. You have a sole administrator who is only doing the bidding of the president. And that you should know that Tinubu will not lose those states that I just mentioned in the South, because he will not be ready to make such mistake he made as of 2023. As for Peter Obi, well, I wish him the best. Thank you.
As for Nnamdi Kanu, finally,
I
know he's going to be released. What are we going to see? What do you think it should be his perception
let me
eulogize
Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu, who has been the only true freedom fighter in the last 1 decade. Nnamdi Kanu, who has been a prophet of our time. A man who has said things and now they are becoming to come to pass. A man who has told us that the Fulanization of Nigeria has always been the agenda since 1804. Today we can see how the Sultan is writing letters to the Southern governors. Now none of them should stop Islam from spreading. That again simply tell us that Nnamdi Kanu will of course be freed, and when he's freed, the Nigerian, or should I say the southern Nigeria, will be freed. Thank you very much.